Great seeing my next guest back in action. She's going to be taking on Diana Belbita coming up here at UFC Fight Night on July 24th. It's Hannah Goldy back here on the program. Hannah, how's it going?
Good. Thank you for having me, as always.
Hey, it's great to talk to you. When did you find out about this fight? Because I kind of just saw a post and I'm like, oh, you're on this card. Like, when did you get notice about this matchup?
I've known about it for a long time, to be honest with you. Obviously, I was scheduled to fight in March and flew out to Vegas and ended up getting COVID and having to drive home.
Did you really? I didn't know that. That sucks.
Yeah, we can talk more about that. That was an experience for sure.
Right.
So obviously that didn't go the way that I planned. And then, I came home and I was hoping that it was going to be a false positive, but I ended up getting pretty sick for like a month. So the UFC doctor didn't clear me. They had rescheduled me to fight Jessica on the 17th, which was like 2 weeks later. And the UFC doctor was like, no, it's not, medically responsible for this fight to happen. So that got called off. And then pretty quickly after that, I knew that I was going to be fighting sometime in July. And then maybe a couple weeks after that, I got the name. So I've known for a while, which to me is kind of like a double-edged sword because I never really got out of camp, I was in camp for the 27th and then didn't end up fighting, which fucking was the worst thing ever. And then, as soon as I know that I'm fighting again, I'm already mentally back in fight camp. So I've literally just been in this super long training camp and haven't gotten to fight. So I'm just so ready to fight on the 24th.
Yeah, no, and hopefully, don't break any mirrors, don't see any black cats or go on any ladders. I think you'll be good there because some bad luck for sure. So tell me, you just mentioned it there. Why did you have to drive back? I was curious about that.
Because when you test positive for COVID...
Can't go on the plane. Oh, that makes sense, right? Because you don't want to get other people infected. Okay, so how long was that drive then?
4 or 5 days. Yeah, because it's either they either tell you that you can quarantine in Vegas for 2 weeks, but I'm a mom, I don't have that option.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, so literally as soon as I found out, I found out Wednesday morning at 7:30, my manager called me and I'm like, something's fucking wrong. Why is he calling me right now? And then by 1 p.m. I was in my rental car driving home.
Oh, that's brutal. Well, at least, you got this fight booked now, but yeah, that would have been really annoying. And especially, I know how it is when you're away from family and stuff. It's definitely difficult. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. This is a flyweight fight. I was looking on Tapology trying to figure that out.
No, it's strawweight.
It is strawweight. Okay, because I was double checking. I figured it was strawweight, but I noticed on Tapology they had it at 125. So that's good. It's in your optimal weight class. What do you know about your opponent here? She's got a 13-6 record. How do you feel like you match up against her here?
I think that she's more of a striker. I don't really watch a lot of footage on my opponents, to be honest with you. I kind of leave that to my coaches and then I just, listen and I do what they tell me to do. But I'm always more focused on my game plan and executing, what I want to do than what they're going to do, because you could study somebody and then nothing that you're prepared for ends up happening. So I just, I know that she definitely likes to stand. So I think that would be fun, but I'm prepared wherever the fight goes. I'm very confident in my preparation. I feel like even though I haven't fought for 2 years, I've been in so many training camps and I've just leveled up, in every area of my game. And I'm just really excited to show everything that I've been working on, because I'm a completely different fighter than I was 2 years ago, and I just can't wait to show everybody. I
was going to say that's probably the silver lining in this whole thing is that you only had 6 fights going into the UFC. I know your debut was on short notice. I even remember on Contender Series you were like, I need a bit more time just to see how things go, and now you've had 2. Don't think you wanted this much time, but still, you must be excited to showcase some new things in the cage on July 24th.
Yeah, no, for sure. And one thing that has stuck in my head, since my Contender Series fight, because I didn't get the contract on the Contender Series, and Dana said I definitely think she's going to be in the UFC, but I think she just needs a little bit more experience, a little bit more confidence. And I never hated on him for saying that, because I was still, I still only have 6 fights, but now my confidence has just. I'm on another level, with my confidence, because I've been training with some of the best people in the world, and I've put my skills to the test against a lot of good people. And I just feel like I said, I'm confident in my preparation, and I feel like I've done the work. And to me, that's why I'm so excited going into this fight, because I just think that I've covered every base that I need to cover. And I'm just really excited to show the rest of the world everything that I've been working on for the past 2 years.
Who have you had a chance to work with? Because I know last time we spoke, you were doing a bit of cross training by the sounds of it.
Yeah, I work with Jillian Robertson a lot, which has been amazing. Like, I love being able to work with her. She's definitely helped with my ground game a lot. And I've had Emily Ducati came through my gym a couple weeks ago, which was amazing. And I'm really hoping that I can get some more working with her. Right now we have Vanessa Porto at Fusion right now. She's on I think a 5-fight win streak in Bellator. And she's fought everybody, man. She's fought like Amanda Nunes. I think she fought Cyborg. And she's super strong, super tough. And, it's cool to get all these different looks and work with a bunch of different females and, see, where I'm supposed to be. I think that 2 years ago, like there was like hype behind me and people told me that I was where I was supposed to be, but I didn't necessarily believe it. And now like I know what my skills are. I know what I'm capable of, and I know that I am where I'm supposed to be and that I can make waves in this division.
Yeah, and we're excited to see it, like I said, on the 24th. You talked a bit about the weight cut there. I imagine everything going according to plan?
Yeah, I mean, everybody's always like, how's the weight cut? And I'm like, the weight cut always sucks, but it's good. Yeah, everything's good.
Good to hear. And who's going to be in your corner for this fight?
Same as would have been in my corner for Jessica. So Mitchell Chamali, Julian Williams, and JT Taylor. So Mitchell's been in my corner for all of my pro fights. He's one of my main training partners, one of my best friends and coaches. Then Julian Williams is the head coach of Fusion. And I've been working with him for a long time too, but just recently over the past couple of years, him and I have really got to dial in together, and, we've been working on some awesome stuff. And then JT is my boxing coach, and he's with Technique Boxing, which him and Julian have been working kind of side by side for a long time too. And he's got my hands on point. So I'm really excited about my team. I'm excited to share this moment with them for sure.
How do you see the fight playing out on July 24th?
I mean, I'm always prepared to go a hard 15 minutes. That's never been an issue for me, but I don't want to fight for 15 minutes. I'm trying to end this as quickly as possible. And I'm prepared to do that on the feet, and I'm prepared to do that on the ground. So whatever she gives me, I'm going to take.
I imagine you want sort of a quick turnaround here, just with the fact that, I mean, maybe not quick, but just, you want to probably get a couple fights in, I would think, just because of, all the really unlucky circumstances over the last 2 years.
Yes, absolutely. My game plan is definitely to get back in there as soon as possible. I definitely need to take a couple weeks off. I have a friend that just got engaged, so I'm taking a trip up to visit her and, spend a little time with Odin. But I've been in the gym since, my last fight was supposed to happen. I'm going to be in the gym a week after this fight. Like, I'm going to stay ready and just keep getting better. And yes, I'm trying to stay very, very active and get a lot of fights, in the next year. So.
I heard you on the Sex and Violence podcast. Ashley Evans Smith, people haven't heard her podcast. It's great. She's like the Howard Stern, I think, of like our industry. I don't know if you would agree with that or not, but I wanted to ask you, like, what was it like going on a show talking about things that are not necessarily about fighting? Because I don't know if you probably get interviews or podcasts like that too often.
Yeah. One, like, Ashley is amazing. And
she's awesome.
We didn't know each other before that, and like we still haven't met in person, but like we still stay in touch. Like, I love her to death. She's like an amazing person, and we get along really well. For me, like, I love stuff like that. Like, I don't hate, but like it gets old. Like, you hear the same.
You can say hate here. I won't get offended because I know I know a lot of media members ask, how's training camp going? The typical typical stock questions, right? It's annoying after a while.
Like, interviews, like it's like everybody you see, like, you feeling good, you feel ready, like you're ready to fight, you're excited, how's your weight, like blah blah blah, shit all the time. And like, I think that sometimes people forget that like athletes are people too, like they have shit going on like in their lives that's not fighting. And like, it's nice to do interviews like that because you can kind of get to know somebody outside of just punching people.
Yeah, you're not just
face,
a fighter. There's so much more to you
like,
than all that stuff, right? So
I'm a very comfortable, open person. So like, going on that podcast, it was fun for me because like like I said, I'm very open. I'm not really embarrassed very easily. So it was fun, and it was nice to make a connection with Ashley. So.
That's great. So I also found out on that show, I didn't know you had an OnlyFans. How has that been in terms of, income over the last couple of years? Because I know a lot of fighters are making a lot of good money off that.
Yeah, it's funny because like a bunch of people are making them now, and I remember like when I made mine, it was such an internal struggle for me because everybody was still like, oh, OnlyFans, like, ew, you're doing that, like, so but I had told Ashley on that podcast too, when I made mine, I literally didn't know how I was going to pay my rent the next month. Like, I was working 3 jobs before COVID happened, and I was working at a gym, or 2 gyms and a restaurant. And like both the gyms closed and the restaurant closed when COVID happened. And I had just moved into this new house, and like I had done my budget, and I was like, just, you know, like between those 3 jobs, like just making enough money to like pay and, you know, be putting a little bit aside. And then I'm like, oh, fuck, well, that's not happening anymore. So what am I going to do? And I just ended up making it. And, you know, I have my rules and my regulations for it. And, you know, it's been great. It's been, you know, helping me be able to train and take care of my family and do what I need to do and focus on what I need to focus on. And I enjoy doing it too. You know, it's not just, I feel like people just put like such a stigma on it, and that's not just what it is. Like some fans just want to talk, you know, like they just want to be able to have a conversation with you, and it's a way to connect with people. And, you know, I enjoy it. So it's been great for me.
Do you feel like you're kind of a pioneer for the MMA community? Because like I said, like you mentioned, you know, you were one of the first people to do it, and now like so many, like, and not even just OnlyFans, like Paige VanZant's got like something similar, Pearl Gonzalez. So do you feel like in a way it's like, oh, look, like I was the one who sort of started this a little bit?
No, I mean, I don't think necessarily that I started it. Like, I'm pretty sure Jessica Penne had hers before me, and like and obviously, like, I don't know her, and we've never spoke, but like, you know, she was part of the reason that I was like, you know, if she, like, I can do this, like, it's okay. Like, it made me feel better about it. And like, I'm very, like, I feel like, again, going back to like, we're not just athletes, you know, like I'm a mom, but I also feel like, you know, I'm a sexy woman, I'm an athlete, I'm so many different things. And like, I can be proud of all of those different things. So yeah, I mean, I think it's great that, you know, girls are figuring out a way to make money, and it's a hard sport to make money in. Fight. It's like, people think that it's glamorous and like you make all this money, and, you know, everybody wants to be a pro fighter for the money. And I'm like, dude, if you're doing this shit for the money, you're in the wrong sport.
Yeah, no, for sure. What did you think when you heard Paige is apparently making like more than she was in the UFC just off that alone? Like, does that surprise? I mean, as someone who does it, are you surprised with how much money's coming in?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't surprise me at all, honestly. You know, like, sex sells, and you know, it's, for me, it's like, you have to figure out ways. Like, fighting is only, you know, this much time of our lives, you know, so you have to be smart, and you have to figure out ways to make money outside of fighting, like, while you're relevant. And I think it's great that, you know, females are doing that. It's good for them, you know, like, get your money, girl, everybody.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And have you noticed your following's gone up a bit since that? Or do you think, because especially you've been out for 2 years, and I still see, you know, it seems like your following's going up on social a lot.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. I try to, like, my Instagram, I do try to not, you know, I try to keep it
PG. Yeah.
Everything in moderation, you know, like, I do like to throw up every now and then, but I also, you know, like to have my son on it and my training and stuff like that. So I don't want all of my followers just to be like following me because like they want to see my butt, you know, like I want them to know that I'm an athlete and I'm a mom. And like I said, like, you can be all of these things. Like, I think that we get stuck in like, just like feeling like we have to be just one. I don't even know how to explain it.
Yeah, no, for sure. There's more layers to you than just in one thing, and you shouldn't be put in one particular box, like Hannah the fighter, Hannah the mom. You know, there's other sides to yourself as well, is kind of what you're getting at. I mentioned Paige VanZant. We see a lot of women go over to bare knuckle boxing. Rachel Ostovich, Paige, Pearl Gonzalez, the latest one. I know you're fresh in the UFC, but is that something that you would ever be into, or is that something you think that, you know, you're good with MMA?
To be honest, no. Like, I don't think that that's something that I would ever want to do.
Okay. No, I like the honesty. I'm surprised that a lot of them went over there, but I guess the money's really good, right? So.
Yeah. I mean, I know that a lot of those girls are definitely making good money, and I had thought about it, like, right before I signed with the UFC. I actually had thought about it a little bit. And to be honest, like, after I saw the Taylor Starling, that fight, I was like, I'm good.
Yeah.
Like,
good stuff.
Like I like that because that was the first bare knuckle fight that I ever watched. Like I had never seen a bare knuckle fight, and then that like I turned it on because I was like, oh, I really want to watch this fight. Like this is gonna be awesome, chick fight. And then I'm like, oh God, no. Like I know that that can happen in MMA too, but it's just I like being able to use all of my tools too.
Yeah, no, completely agree with that. Hannah, I'll let you get back to being a great mom. I know Odin's over there watching right now. In the meantime, if you got anyone you want to thank, any sponsors, any social media, I'll give you the last word.
Yeah, just obviously everybody at Fusion has been so amazing, and I'm just really excited to put on a show for them. Obviously, my fiance who just left in. All of my friends and family have been helping me out so much too with Odin. I've needed a lot of extra help with him this camp, so just everybody that's been there for me and supporting me, and I love you guys. I love all the fans, and I'm just really excited to finally show everybody what I'm made of on the 24th.